We go live on Channel 5, live on My 5. Thanks for being with us. The former Conservative Minister Ann Widdecombe and the journalist Yasmin Alibhai-Brown are with us. Ann has a little cold at the moment, don't you? So
sorry about that.
No, not at all, not at all. So you were watching Keir Starmer backstage. What did you think, Ann?
Pathetic.
What do you think about him?
Almost as bad as Rishi Sunak, utterly pathetic. For example, when he was challenged on the ear syringing, which was a pretty small thing, but very telling, when he was asked, well, you say it's all going to be free at the point of reception, so can we get our ears syringed free at the point of reception? Couldn't give you the answer.
But the ear syringing, I've had a lot of conversations with people about ear syringing. I know it sounds silly and trivial, but if you've got hearing problems, you need to have it twice a year. You're now paying £80 times 2 for each time you do it.
But my point is he couldn't ask.
Well, I couldn't work that out. Yasmin, did you think, as Anne says, that it was pathetic?
No, I didn't think it was pathetic. And actually, at some points, he came across better than he has done. Certainly, he's cleared up his thinking and all this confusion and actually failure of the Gaza thing. I thought that was a very good answer. It's the first time I've thought
backwards and forwards on Gaza.
Yeah, but this time he made a clear statement. He did explain. I do think that he doesn't have that thing of inspiring. Neither does Sunak. There's something not very inspiring about him. But on the whole, I was expecting it to be much more critical of him. But there are some issues that I would have raised. Like, I am extremely concerned about Starmer's attitude towards racism in his party and the way he's instrumentalised the Diane Abbott incident against the Tories and isn't addressing it.
Well, they'll have
in his own party.
I'm guessing they'll have to bring Diane Abbott back in. Let me just show you our phone number, because we'd love you to call on whether you think Keir Starmer should be the next Prime Minister on the basis of the interview you just seen. There he is on the phone. 0207 862 2222 is the number to call us on. We would love you to be in touch. 16p per minute from a landline. Mobiles may be dearer. You've got the socials as well. You've got Facebook and TikTok and Threads, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, and if you go on YouTube, you can find our YouTube channel. Just type Jeremy Vine on 5 when you're online. As I say, there's the number. Do you think that he is the right person to be the next Prime Minister? For anyone who missed his appearance earlier, here is Sir Keir talking about his reputation for flip-flopping. Every time you come under pressure over a policy, you can it. Ceasefire.
No, Jeremy.
Well, come on, let me just do it. Let's just do it.
That's not
Ceasefire
fair.
in Gaza. No, then yes, then who knows? The two-child benefit cap. You're scrapping it, then you're keeping it. Your Rochdale candidate got your support, then the heat gets too high and you drop him. You praise Thatcher, then you say, well, actually, I didn't agree with her.
No, well, look, let me take that
flip-flop thing.
Let me take that challenge on. We have to make sure that we can afford everything that we put in our manifesto. So I'm not going to put anything in the manifesto which we can't deliver. If that means now I have to be clear about that, then I'd rather be clear with the British public now than make a pledge that I know can't be afforded because of the damage that's been done to the economy.
So, well, he's being very careful, Anne, isn't he? He doesn't want to make promises.
What he won't address is the fact that he has made these promises and then he's gone back on them. So if he's going to be so careful and if he's going to work it all out in advance, why make the promises in the first place? Why not have worked it all out? Derek's
in Devon. Hi, Derek.
Good morning.
Is he the right stuff? Is he the right person to be Prime Minister?
I'd like to say good morning to Anne, favourite of mine.
Hi.
Right. As regards Keir, I don't trust the Tories and I don't trust the Labour at the moment. The question I wanted to ask Sir Keir, should Labour get into Parliament, would he abolish the House of Lords?
Well, let's just guess what the answer would be. He would have said reform it, I guess. But you know what Blair thought of doing that? It just takes so much time. And you haven't got the time.
And it's much less easy than you think.
Why do you want it abolished, Derek?
Well, to be honest, I see the House of Lords as an overspill from the Labour Party. And every time the Tories put something on the agenda, that the House of Lords blocks it.
Well, the Rwanda plan has gone back there. It's ping-ponging.
Unelected people in there, and I think we should abolish it.
OK, Derek, thank you. Linda in West Sussex, is Keir Starmer the right man for the job?
definitely the right man for the job. He's coming across as very genuine, very caring, very honest.
Which one of you was saying he came as dull or flat? Well, you were saying, but I mean,
he came across well. I mean, better than I.
But people say, but if you want lively, you go for Boris Johnson.
Yeah,
and you weren't happy with that either.
I don't want showman, but I do think that one thing, and Blair trashed his own legacy with Iraq, but he did have a way of inspiring people, and that's a gift. You either have it or you don't. And I don't think Keir has it, but if he can prove that he's serious, I still wasn't convinced by his flip-flop answer. Too much flip-flopping is going on.
No. Tam is in Manchester. Hi, Tam.
Morning, Jeremy.
Are you convinced by Keir Starmer?
Not at all.
Tell us why not, Tam.
I left the Labour Party because of Keir Starmer. His treatment of Jeremy Corbyn, he's in pocket to the buds, he's Tory-like too, and nothing will change, I'm afraid. But
you're a Labour voter, are you, Tam, normally?
I will not be voting Labour this time round.
But where do you go? Where do you go? Because if you're Labour, you're thinking, we don't need Tam, we've got him in the bag. We need to get the centrist voters. So where do you go if not Labour?
He's telling lies, Jeremy, because the same old will carry on. Same as in the health department, you've got West Streeting going down privatisation with everything. You can't get hospital appointments. You wait 2 years to get an appointment.
Well, I think they've got so much work to do. You don't think you can do the work?
Nope.
Right.
He doesn't have the team to do it either.
Thank you, Tam, in Manchester. So Labour supporter disaffected. David in Liverpool, did he inspire you?
He certainly did, Jeremy. Yeah, I'm very impressed. I've never heard an MP answer so many questions, and yet I've heard Rishi Sunak at the dispatch box every Wednesday, and yet I've yet to hear him answer a question. And that, for me, it Starmer's worlds apart. It's honestly
Can we show the graph that shows that Starmer is less popular than his party, whereas Sunak is more popular than the Conservatives? How do you explain that if he's such a great hit?
Well, the thing is, I'm up in Liverpool. We're hard-working people all across the country, but more so in the north. And we know what he stands for. The Tories have decimated this country. They've taken the great out of Great Britain. We've had 14 years. It shouldn't even be a debate. Labour or the Tories, it's one or the other. There's nobody else in the equation.
It may be that's what the election will be, David. Thank you. I mean, I know the Tories aren't your party now, Anne.
No.
But this last decade will be replayed like Labour in the 70s was replayed, and it'll be replayed for the next 30, 40 years.
I mean, I love the way that Keir Starmer said in the course of the interview, he'd got his party into this position to win. No. It was the Conservatives who got themselves well and truly into position to lose by making the most unholy mess with a majority of 80. I mean, a majority of 80. They have made the most unholy mess of this last
But
Parliament.
But I suppose if you look back and you think, as if you were a Conservative, what would you have done differently? Surely, Yasmin, they shouldn't have ditched Boris Johnson because in the end, he's the only proven election winner.
Are you joking? This man is so dishonest that he couldn't be a market trader in the East End of London. He is a liar.
That's very unfair on market traders, and I'm not even joking.
Sorry, we expect market traders to tell you that the gadget is working.
I'm just sticking up for them
not.
Here. Yeah.
Often they're not.
Okay, all right.
Okay?
Be
and
careful
I love
there.
market traders, but that's the business.
Okay.
But don't talk to, Boris Johnson was one of the worst things that's happened to this country.
Right.
And Liz Truss is up there with them. And Anne is right up to a point that what's happening is disillusionment with the Tories that is driving this election rather than inspiration.
But if
Labour.
I think that's undeniable. I mean, there's one point of agreement between us that
just one.
The Tories are losing.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it seems like it. The polls are.
No, I mean they're losing because of their own act.
Yeah, the polls are absolutely eye-wateringly horrendous for the Conservatives at the moment, and nothing seems to move them an inch. Irene in East Lothian, what did you think of Keir Starmer today?
absolutely brilliant. He was so good. I was totally undecided who I was going to vote for, and now it will definitely be Labour.
But when he
lots of things.
Yasmin was mentioning the interview, or Anne was mentioning the interview about the bit about the NHS, right? And
Yes.
and he says no, it's national, it's ours, it's Labour's, it's not going private. And then the question is, well, hang on, they're doing loads of private operations because they have to reduce the backlog. And he says, oh yeah, well, we're doing that because we've got to reduce the waiting list. Is there not a contradiction in there, Irene?
No, not at all. The NHS is a mess at the moment, thank you to the Tories. I think he's the man to sort everything out.
Thank you.
Including getting your ears done.
Well, let's do that as a test, shall we? Ask in a couple of years if they've done that.
I think he did come across well. You can see
Yeah,
from
no,
some,
well,
yeah, he did.
Yeah, well, that's. I'm not
Your
judging.
standards must be very low.
No, I'm looking at
very
it
low.
from the point of view of the callers. And
Well, I think that our brilliant viewers do pay attention. And if you've got this guy spends, 43 minutes with us, and he looks down the camera and he gives people a much better chance of gauging who he is than Prime Minister's questions, actually, where everyone's just shouting.
Well, I can't understand, Jeremy, and this is a serious point, why anybody thinks that Prime Minister's questions, no matter who's in power, why they think that Prime Minister's questions is a measure of anything.
No.
It's a shouting match.
It is, and it does.
Shouting
Yeah.
match.
My daughter actually visited the Commons yesterday and went and watched Prime Minister's questions. And I mean, she thought it was amazing and brilliant, but I'm not sure for the same reasons that she should. You know, it was just the theatre of it. Jane is in Portsmouth. Hi, Jane.
Hi.
Did you watch and think, yep, that's the next Prime Minister?
No, he's very dull.
Yeah.
He doesn't come across as very sincere. I don't believe him when he says that he's going to do these things, he's going to do that. He's the most flip-flop MP I have seen. And I have voted Labour in the past, but there's nothing appealing about him. Him, Sunak, anybody. I'm in a political desert. There isn't anybody.
So let's think you're Portsmouth. So you've got, I'm thinking you've got a Tory MP and a Labour MP there. It's quite split, Portsmouth.
I'm under Penny Mordaunt.
Oh, yeah, okay, right. So you've got the full sword. Yeah.
I have, yes.
The sword of Penny. Well, she might be Prime Minister in the next few weeks.
Unlikely.
No, I agree. Very unlikely. Very unlikely. In Portsmouth, we don't, Penny Mordaunt's not that good. So she in Portsmouth, I don't think she's going to lose a seat.
No. Thank you, Jane, very much indeed. Thank you. Take care. Joseph in Liverpool, hi.
Hello there, Jeremy. How are you?
I'm well. Now, was that the next Prime Minister we were watching there?
Yes, it was, yeah, but I don't believe that Mr Starmer should be Prime Minister at all, no.
Oh, OK, why not?
I just don't think that, realistically, that any of the candidates put forward a right to run this country. I mean, realistically, we keep on going backwards and forwards between Labour and the Conservatives, and we have done for forever in time, and all they ever do is never follow through with the manifesto. And all what keeps happening is that the good, honest, working public of the country end up suffering severely for it. We need to find another way.
What are you thinking of? Because I suppose we went quite populist, didn't we, in the 2000s with Boris Johnson and Brexit and all that?
Yeah, but look at what they did, though. Realistically, they only really looked after themselves and their friends up in higher power, where all of them made absolute billions over the COVID crisis, all of them passing down to their friends. And we need actually somebody who's actually going to do the job for the people and look after the people's needs. And that includes making sure the police looked after better, the fire brigade, our armed forces, and the NHS.
Thank you, Joseph. This is really interesting getting a bit of feedback, isn't it?
So there's this new a movement that's just been announced.
Yeah.
And it's called We Deserve Better. And they're going to field some independent and green candidates. And I think this is a really good thing.
But they never get anywhere, these people.
No, you
they?
might get
That's
a few more independents going in. This is a duopoly. And we do, it's not serving us very well.
Yeah, not Scotland, though. Jackie in Cheshire, hello.
Hello, good morning.
What do you think? Is that the next Prime Minister?
Absolutely not. No. BBB, bring back Boris. Boris is the best.
Well, can you explain that to Yasmin? Because I got my head bitten off earlier for saying that.
Sorry, Yasmin. I have to say that Boris brought us through Brexit, whether we liked it or not. He did an amazing, perfect person job. And he also got us through COVID. And he's an amazing person.
There we are. That's you. I know you've
Sorry,
struck
Jack.
dumb.
Did you, if you do nothing else, just watch the documentary that Channel 4 did on Boris Johnson just a week ago?
And it didn't happen.
Just watch it and then tell me he's the man to lead this country.
I've already watched it.
And weren't you shocked at the lies and the deception and the lack of seriousness and the failures and the deaths?
No.
Oh my God!
Oh, we're talking about the breathless one. Is that right?
Let her answer.
Go on.
No, I don't agree with it at all. Everybody has made mistakes. Everybody is entitled to an opinion. And no way. He has had a bad press. And he's had a poor look at through people. But no, he does his job. He is an honest, brilliant person, and he should come back. And I can't trust Keir and Angela Rayner. No way. No.
Well,
honest.
Let's see.
Boris, honest. We're living on different planets.
But Yasmin, if you were a Conservative MP and you just wanted to save your seat, wouldn't you, of the available candidates, Mordaunt, Sunak, Boris Johnson, wouldn't you choose Boris?
No, I would not.
Just in terms of getting some votes?
I think Penny Mordaunt has something that a lot of people don't have.
Well, a massive sword. Thank you, Jackie. Later we'll discuss the day's top stories in the papers and everywhere else, including the nation's favourite song to listen to in the car. But I tell you what, this is interesting, just hearing from you about what you thought of Keir Starmer, because he could well be the next Prime Minister. 0207 862 2222, and we've had a chance to eyeball him this morning, and we love your views. See you shortly. This is a great moment for you to clear my Whig confusion, because you'll both know this. Did the Whigs become the Tories, or did they become the Liberals?
It's slightly more complex.
Is it?
Than that.
Yeah. So the Whigs were kind of Tory in the. It's just something I've always puzzled
the original
about.
Liberals were quite right wing anyway.
Yeah.
Not the modern day
so
Liberals.
like the Australian.
Yeah.
Okay, political history is not my. Before 1920.
That one is complex.
Is tricky. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a very good answer, actually. Thank you. So I remember once interviewing Hillary Clinton, and during the record, I said, "Can you tell me how the First World War started? Because I still don't understand." And she gave me the same answer. She said, "It is kind of complex."
Yeah, and the First World War is very.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some things can't be answered. Now, more of your calls on whether Keir Starmer should be PM. So he's been in this morning, and we had a good, credit to him for taking the time with me and with you. And he looked down the camera and he spoke direct to you, and it's appreciated. And I wonder what you thought of it. Jackie in Sheffield, what did you think of it?
Oh, hello. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
I was quite impressed. I like Keir Starmer. I do. I'm a Labour voter anyway, but I shouldn't hesitate to vote for Keir Starmer. I think he's a shoo-in. However, I would say this to Mr Starmer and anybody else that goes into that House of Commons, any other party. I think that they're on licence now. I think, no more of this shenanigans that's been going on for years now. You get down and do the job properly. If you don't want to do it, get out. Don't go into politics. Stay away from it.
But in the end, what I was trying to get to with him is that they won't have any more money than the government has now, unless they have massive tax rises, which they've ruled out. So, and they say there's going to be growth. Well, that takes a long time. So do you understand what they're going to spend differently, Jackie? In other words, where's the big cut?
I'm not sure about the big cut or where they're going to spend it. What I'm hopeful of Keir Starmer and his party, what I'm really hopeful is that when he does this, when he gets into power, right, that's his first step. He's got through the door. But I'm hoping that what he does with his people, the right people in government, none of the shenanigans that we've been having for years, but when he gets in, that he'll be sensible. His background is of somebody who is extremely intelligent and has done a profound job. I mean, he's not just walked off the street.
Yeah, I don't know if that being intelligent sometimes is a problem, is a drawback in politics. Yeah, I don't know. Thanks, Jackie. Well, let's just show you a little bit of the interview. This is the first caller we had, actually, who really wanted to know what he's going to do about the migrants.
what you're going to do about the small boats crossing, because they're coming over these people, they're taking up places that people in England can use, homeless people. Now, what is your policy on doing that? Because obviously that could be a vote winner.
We've got to stop these boats coming over. There's no ifs or buts. It's a massive problem. And, Pat, it gives this sense of having lost control of our borders. What I wouldn't do, Pat, is to grandstand or just try to find headlines in relation to gimmicks that won't work. And I think the Rwanda gimmick is a gimmick that won't work.
I don't know. Dave is in Staffordshire. What do you think, Dave? Do you think he can stop the small boats?
I think he's got as much chance as anybody else. What he describes seems plausible, so we'll soon see.
And what did you think of him?
I was very impressed. Unlike Tam, one of your previous callers, he left the Labour Party when Jeremy Corbyn stopped being leader. I did the opposite. I left when he was leader because I couldn't stomach the left-wing side of it. Basically, and I came back when Keir was leader.
OK, so you're supporting him. So there's a lot riding on this, isn't there? Because they're making big promises. There's a lot of expectation. And I don't know what...
Yeah, but they make big promises which they then resile on 5 minutes later.
Has he dropped too many of his policies, Dave, and the flip-flopping?
Well, things change, and unlike the right-winger that you've got on the panel, I listened carefully to what he said, and I took a different meaning from Keir.
I'm assuming
I'm not right-wing. I'm very left-wing, Dave. But there are still issues.
No, not you.
No, she's not. Dave isn't talking about you. Why would you think that was you?
Because he said the left-wingers, I thought.
I thought he said the right-winger.
He said the right-winger.
Oh, the right-wingers.
Unlike the right-winger you've got on your panel.
But I think there are some questions that also remain unanswered or unasked. What happened in the last 14 years is they took from the poor and gave to the rich. And the rich became such big owners of our democracy. Now, is he going to carry? He is talking to a lot of very rich donors at the moment.
We've got in London 177 billionaires. It's astonishing.
Yeah.
You can argue that's just a global
our
thing.
System more than anything
Maybe it's
else.
a bad thing. Is it bad to have billionaires living here?
I don't think it's
living in. No, I'm saying owning our democracy.
Well,
like we've had again and again, money being given to the Tory party and then getting contracts and policies being determined.
You think that's true, Anne?
I don't think it's any more true of this administration. Every administration has a corruption scandal, sometimes justified, sometimes not justified. You think of all the problems with Peter Mandelson and Geoffrey Robertson in the last, the last Blair government and all this sort of thing. I don't have any problem with rich people living in London, because I like the way that they spend in London.
OK, yeah. Interestingly, the Frank Hester story, which is this squillionaire computer guy who made terrible racist comments about Diane Abbott. Now, this is a little cul-de-sac here, but bear with me. I saw Private Eye this week, and Private Eye did a piece on him before the scandal.
Yes.
And they said the interesting thing about him is he runs a computer software company, and they've just announced a massive upgrade of the NHS computer systems, and could he be the person who gets the car? Now, that kind of answered my question as to why this guy would give them £10 million in a year. But I can't connect them. I don't want to throw that shadow on them. But you think they give the party 10 million?
It's in the public sphere now. That's what happened.
But I thought there were processes here. No.
There have not been processes for a long time.
All right. Eileen is in North Lanarkshire. Hi, Eileen.
Hello.
And you were sitting watching Keir Starmer earlier?
Yes, I was.
What did you think?
I don't like the man at all.
You didn't like
I'm a lifelong Labour supporter, and I was not impressed.
Did you say you're a lifelong Labour supporter?
Yes, I am a lifelong Labour supporter.
Right, OK. Well, why not? Because you've Corbyn, Blair, Brown, Wilson, Callaghan, but not Starmer.
I can't stand him. The reason being that I remember when Tony Blair came in, and I welcomed him in. I thought, great. By the end of the time, I detested him.
OK, Eileen, thank you. But you're front-loading it. Cut out the middleman and detest him before he gets into power. Martin in Shropshire, hi.
Good morning,
Your
gentlemen.
thoughts on verdict on Keir Starmer?
He came across, as Keir Starmer does come across, actually. I thought he was quite bland and rather uninspiring, really. He did actually get his first comment, I thought, wrong, whether he said £8 million a week instead of £8 million a day for immigrants. But he didn't answer the question on immigration as to, it's not just the illegals coming here by boats, it's legal immigration, which I think last year was about 600,000.
That's right. And they've
got to get a grip on that, really, as well.
Thank you very much, Martin. Kathy, we're filling in loads of calls, which is great. Kathy in Tyne and Wear, you've got the last word here. Your verdict on Keir Starmer?
Yes, I would definitely vote for Keir Starmer. I work for the NHS. I believe in Labour. I like the way he's addressing all the really important issues, especially for the underdog. I suppose one thing that I don't know what's going to happen is this child abuse and neglect that has been highlighted in the news over the last few months with regards to, in my mind, the lack of health visitors and the lack of visitations by health visitors.
Yeah. Massively important thing where kids are going under the radar. Thank you, Kathy. Feels like we could be at one of those seismic political moments. I don't know. It's dangerous to say that, though, Anne, because you can have a 92 election again where it's really tight.
And if you've noticed that in the latest poll today, Reform is at 15%, I thought I'd just drop that in the conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't be such a duopoly in the future.
Well, that makes it more likely to be a Labour win, paradoxically, because Reform take Tory votes.
So I really wish you well. I really wish you well.
Well, thank you very much. Because
I really do.
Yeah, I know. And this silly argument that we're taking Tory votes, Keir Starmer's going to win anyway. What we're doing is offering something completely different.
OK, thanks for all your calls across the morning. After the break, it's the papers and everything else, including whether Greggs has...